Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Wilson. Welcome back to our read aloud of Wild Rescuers, Guardians of the Taiga. And we are on chapter 4. Look at the cute little wolf on chapter 4. Today is a short video because it's a short chapter, less than 6 pages. So once again, thanks to StacyPlays and Harper Publishing for letting me read this aloud to my kids. Okay, let's go. As soon as Stacy and Eris got back to the cave, she set about fixing the wolves' usual dinner, a sloppy but hearty chicken and pumpkin stew. Sometimes she threw in apples she'd scavenged, plus various herbs from her garden. The wolves seemed to love Stacy's concoction, so out of curiosity she tried the stew herself once. It took an entire bucket of milk to wash the taste away. The wolves, however, didn't seem to mind the peculiar conglomeration one bit. In fact, they often wanted seconds. Stacy ladled the stew into 6 wooden bowls she had crafted for the pack last Christmas, each with the wolf's initial carved in the front. Their gift to her had been a leather journal, a pot of ink, and 3 quilled pens that Addison had found in the village. Stacy didn't dare ask where exactly she found them, but it was the perfect gift. The wolves tucked in to their dinner, and Stacy walked over to the flat-topped boulder she and Noah had rolled into the cave last spring for Stacy to use as a desk. She sat on the tree stump in front of it, lit a candle, opened the diary. She liked to record their animal rescues. She also jotted down one troubling note: possible wolf bounty. Not only will my wolves be vulnerable, there will be humans with rifles all over the forest. We have to go into hiding. She flipped to the back of her journal where she kept track of phases of the moon and the nightly wolf patrol rotation. Every night one of the wolves paced along the ridge, guarding against any threats and keeping on lookout for animals in need of rescue. Full moon tonight, guys, she said loud enough to be heard over the dinner time smacking and chomping. And Tucker, it's your turn to patrol the ridge. As soon as she had finished the entry about the bunny, Stacy blew out the candle, grabbed her newspaper and pencil, and walked to the largest part of the cave near the opening. She hung a small pack over Tucker's hindquarters and gave him a quick kiss goodbye. There's some chicken jerky in there for you when you get hungry. During the night, she said, ruffling the already messy tuft of fur on top of his head. Be safe, boy. Tucker dipped his head in what only could be called a nod and trotted out into the forest, his tail wagging. The sun and the moon set the pack's daily schedule in the forest. Darkness meant bedtime for everyone, except for the wolf on patrol. Stacy watched the others bed down for the night in what could only be called a puppy pile. A pile of very large puppies, anyway. She tiptoed into the center of the pile, newspaper in hand, taking extra care not to step on any tails. She claimed a spot with her head on Everest's belly, her back on Noah's back, and her feet propped on Wink's backside. Every night there was a slightly different sleeping arrangement, but to Stacy they were all equally comfortable. She was surrounded by creatures who loved her, who had laid down their lives for her, and she never needed a blanket. In the winter she snuggled in tight to the wolf's thick fur, because it would keep her warm. And in summer the cool breezes in the forest wafted over all of them. Tonight was a special night, because of the full moon, bright enough to shine through the cave opening so Stacy could work on the newspaper's crossword puzzle. Addison lay right behind her, her head on Stacy's. So there they are. And her head is on Stacy's shoulder. Stacy propped a pair of drugstore reading glasses she found on Addison's snout so she could help with the answers. 4 across, Stacy read. Type of Christmas tree. 6 letters. Addison's amber eyes were focused intently on the page. She didn't care much for the news, but she loved crossword puzzles. A type of Christmas tree, 6 letters. Not fir, not pine. Spruce! Addison nudged her ear to let her know it was correct. Stacy began to read the next clue, but she could hear Addison's breathing slow and deepen. A minute later, the wolf was snoring loudly in Stacy's ear. Stacy tucked the newspaper behind her head, not wanting to complete too much of the puzzle without her best helper, and turned over, burying her head in Everest's soft fur. She drifted off, believing with all of her heart that there was no better place to sleep in the world than nestled between 5 gigantic, slumbering Arctic wolves. Stacy fell into a deep sleep dominated by the dream she often had of her very first animal rescue. She had been with the wolves for just a month or two, running around the clearing playing tag with Wink and Addison, when she saw a baby owl. The owlet was young. It was just a little puff of fuzz and feathers. "Where's your nest?" Stacy had asked, but of course, it didn't answer her. It was obvious that without a mom, the poor creature would die. Stacy started crying while Wink and Addison hovered, wanting to help but not knowing how. It was Tuck, Everest, and Noah who came to the rescue. Tuck began to lick the owlet like the mother bird, while Everest snatched at the ground until he found some worms. Noah nudged a bowl of water in the bird's direction. After it had eaten, Basil curled itself around the bird to keep it warm. For the next few weeks, they lovingly took care of the owlet, which Stacy named Bramble. Soon, he grew the rest of his feathers and began to take short flights at night. But he would always return to the cave during the day. The one night at dusk, Bramble soared into the air, and Stacy saw that he was flying with other owls. One was a big adult, and the others were slightly larger than Bramble. "You found your family, Bramble." After that, they saw Bramble less and less. Stacy missed the little guy, but was happy for him. That first rescue had awoken something inside of her. She knew what it was like to lose her own family, and how wonderful it was to be rescued, in her case, by wolves. From then on, Stacy and the pack roamed the forest during the day, looking for ways to aid their fellow Taiga residents, reuniting families, saving animals from death, and nursing injured back to health. It became the work and their joy. She couldn't imagine a better life. Stacy was just beginning to snore loudly when a blood-curdling "Howl!" rang over the quiet taiga. Stacy and all the wolves sat up in attention, every one of them wondering and hoping they dreamed it. But Stacy knew what she had heard, and instantly filled her with dread. A second howl echoed through the trees, and it was definitely Tucker's. Ooh, leaving you on a cliffhanger there in chapter 4. So make sure you come back tomorrow to see what happens and what the blood-curdling howl is about. I hope you guys are liking this book as much as I am. We are about a fourth of the way done. So I hope I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye!